Hi, welcome. My name is Michele. Oh, let me just get this out of my road. Hope you can hear me okay. Hi, my name is Michele, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up. I'm just going to flip this camera over. I'm playing at the moment. I don't have any idea what I am doing. I received some new product yesterday in my purchase order, my Premier order, and I thought I'd have a play with it. But I forgot one thing. When I placed my order, I left one component out, and that was my designer series paper. But anyway, let me show you what I've got here in front of me anyway. So let me just pop my camera over, and I'm going to flip it down, so it won't be 1 second. Please jump on and say hi, particularly if you're new. Love to see who's here. Whoops, let me just bring the comments back up. Let me change my camera view. There we go. And let me show you what we've got. Now, I haven't, sorry, I'm just reaching over to get something from behind me. I can't show this to you because it's in the new catalogue, but this is a new collection and it's called Regency Park. So let me just pop that on the floor and let me show you some of the components of this, except for the designer series paper, which is really beautiful by just to let you know, but I just didn't get it for some reason. But anyway, it comes with 2 stamp sets in this suite. So you've got Sentimental Park, which is a photopolymer stamp set, and it comes with a range of dies that go with it. And there is a huge amount of dies. And I will show you what I've been playing with this morning so you can see. Also, that you've got the second stamp set here, which is Petal Park, which is also photopolymer. And with that one, you can get the punch. So you've got this really great punch. I'm sorry if there's a reflection on there. And that will punch out these sets of flowers here. Now, I haven't checked. Let me just have a check here. I'm hoping that those flowers are in, yes, they are. They're in 1 stamp. So that's the punch there. They're the 3 stamps, and they are the 3 joining stamps that goes with the punch. And you also have this one too. So you've got one here that does an outline and one here that would fill all the inner of that, but you don't have to do the 2 of them together, of course. The little leaf is a separate stamp, so you've got that there's a separate stamp plus that one, and then you have all these other stamps in this set here as well. Just be aware of something we've picked up on in the new catalogue. On some of the stamp sets, you've got a choice of whether you want to go photopolymer or whether you want the red rubber, like we used to do when we could have a choice between whether we wanted a clear block and a wooden block. Just some of the stamps, they're allowing us to choose whether we want rather go red rubber or photopolymer. Not so much happening in the collections, I don't think. But anyway, this collection came only in the photopolymer. So, and I actually quite like the photopolymer because you can actually see through, because with this one here, you can see, okay, you've got your outline stamp there. Then you've got this one here, which would fill all those areas in. So it's really good to be able to see through that to know where you're positioning everything. So, yeah. And it's the same with this one here. You've got this outline stamp here and this one here, which you could fill that in with, and this little flower and this one here and the leaves and that. So being in the photopolymer, it's very easy to position. So yeah, great stamp sets. As I said, comes with a punch, comes with the dies, and I said I'd show you those dies. Now, I'm not going to show you the dies as such, but there's your punch there, and here's all the dies. So I've just actually cut them all out. excuse me, and attach them onto this sheet of basic white cardstock, just so I can see. And what I've done here, I've circled some of them. This one here is one die, and this one here is also one die. But what they've done is they've given me 2 sets of this one here. So these little flowers here, you've got them twice. So if you wanted to cut out lots of those, you can do so. Excuse me. Just quickly had lunch and it's stuck in my throat. And then again, this one here, these 2 little flowers are in one die, but they've given us 2 sets. These ones here are all individual, and those 2 little ones there are individual as well. So this one here would cut out that image there. So if I turned it upside down, you can see how that image works. Another interesting point with these dies here too is that this die here has got a little cutout area, and you can cut this piece out here and you can slip it underneath there and underneath there. So you could put ribbon through there. You could, as I said, you could put that piece through there. I'm sure that there's going to be lots of things that we can find to slip in there. So we're going to have a little bit of a play. As I said, I don't know what I'm doing. This suite also comes with this basket weave, and I've just run this through my cut and emboss machine. This beautiful basket weave pattern. That is just gorgeous. So I'm going to use that as my base of my card. So I'm using soft sea foam. And at the moment, I'm looking at opening my card that way. Just for the fact that I feel that this is going to only go across if I use this big piece here. So we're just going to have a play. I don't know yet. I may just use this piece, and I've just cut it out of some basic white and do some flowers around it. You could pop that going that way if you wanted to. That's just where my thoughts are at the moment. You've also got the adhesive backed milky dots, and let me just open these up so we can have a look at these properly. As I said, I've only just received these yesterday and unboxed them this morning. Yes, I made myself wait till today because I just had so much on my plate this week. So if we take these out and open this up, you've sort of got this, not quite sure, it's like a light grey or even a creamy sort of colour. Then this one here, I don't know whether these are actually, I'd have to have a look at the catalogue, and I'm not going to get down on the floor to pick them up now to have a look at. I'm just having a look at my range of colours to what colour. It's like a mushroomy colour. But, I mean, it'd probably go really well on anything, and it'd probably actually work really well with what I'm sort of playing with today, because it's really in those muted tones. And then you have this one here, which is sort of going more into United Navy, and then your lovely golds. So they're all going to be, this one here is probably even like a soft sea foam in colour in itself, but I'm sure that whatever colour you put behind it is actually going to sort of reflect that colour in there, just because of the way that they are. So they're going to be fun to use. And it also has, pop that away in a moment, some ribbon that comes in this sweet collection as well. I can find the opening, and oh, that's nice. That's beautiful. Really nice and soft. Probably really nice to fold bows with. And again, it's in that Night and Navy blue. I know the designer series paper is full of lots of bright colours, like your Mango Melodies, Daffodil Delights, your Night and Navies, and a lot of other vibrant, probably your Granny Apple Green or your Parakeet Party, those sort of greens and everything in it. So, but that's a beautiful ribbon, that one. But we'll have to wait to see the paper because I forgot to order it. So we're going to have a play with this anyway. and see what we come up with. But I don't think I'll be using the ribbon today. I have actually just used that, and I'm thinking now of maybe cutting out that and cutting out a whole stack of these in different colors. So I'm going to bring out my little tray here because I haven't cut anything, so you're going to have to bear with me today as we work through this and start cutting things out. So I'm going to use my mini cut and emboss machine, and the next thing, I've pulled out some colors in some designer series, not in designer series paper, sorry, in some cardstock, and I've got colors like So Saffron, of course your basic white, the pale papaya, because I thought that was quite a nice color, the fresh freesia, which would all be colors that you could work with this. I've got a little bit of pear pizzazz, a little bit of pool party, and this one I think is the blushing bride. So they're the colors I thought we would have a play, and I think I might cut out, because there's no actual little leaves or anything in this, though you could cut out these leaves here, like cut this out and then use the leaves of this. But I'm just wondering, because I want to cut this piece out in a color. It is a floral on there, but I think by the time you can add other flowers and everything on top, it may sort of tend to blend in a bit. So I'm thinking I might just do that in my pear pizzazz. So if you've got any ideas, let me know as I work along cutting all of these out. I am working in my usual messy desk. Had to go out and do some grocery shopping this morning because I'm having my card class Christmas party tonight. So that sort of held me up a little bit. Okay, where are my dies? As I said, please jump on and say hello and let me know where you're from. It's always good to see new people. And if you're new and you haven't watched this before, and let me know that you're new. Whoops, sorry, I'm just moving. Let me just adjust my camera here. I'm moving everything about with my little cut and emboss machine here. It sort of wants to play up on me a little bit lately, so I've got to just make sure I've got those plates in slightly offset. And let's see how we go. Okay, so there's our first piece. It's going to be lots of little bits and pieces here to cut off, so I want to pop out. So I'm just going to get my take a pick tool, and I've got my brush end on that you can buy separately to go with your take a pick tool. Of course, it does come with a little black foam mat that you can pop underneath, but sometimes when I'm working quickly, I find my hands underneath work quite well. And of course too, I've got that stiletto end on there that just can help push out some of those little bits as well. Now, of course, if you want to, you can leave some of those in. I tend to like to just take them all out. That's just me being a little bit on the fussy side. Okay, so let's just pop this to one side for the moment. And what I want to do is find that piece of basic white that I've already cut. Where have I put it? There we go. There it is there. And let's just see how. So that's going to slip underneath there like that. We can pop our sentiment on there, and that one will slip underneath there like that. Let's see if we can get this sitting in here a little bit nicer. There we go. I've got that piece in there. So yes, it does work. It's just you've got to play with this a little bit just to bring if you're like me, I can be a little bit pedantic about getting everything all lined up. Okay, so that's going to sit nicely on there, and we're going to pop that onto there. That can sit there, and we're going to pop that onto there like so. Of course, we could also put a piece of ribbon in there. We may just do that just yet. I'll have to have a look and see what I've got, or even some baker's twine. I've got some of that handy. So that's that so far. We'll work out a sentiment when we've worked out a little bit more of what we're going to do. So what other things can we add to this? Because it needs some of these colours. So let's just pop that to one side, and let's bring out some of these flowers in here. Now, as I said, there is quite a bit, so you've got to be very careful that you don't lose them. I'm just taking out all the big pieces for the moment because we don't necessarily want them. I want all of these little bits. So I'm just going to pop them all into this tray here. These paint trays that you can get, I got this one from the Reject Shop, which is our local $2 shop here, and it's really good for holding these things in. So let's start cutting some of these little bits and pieces. Now this piece of cardstock's way too big, so I'm just going to cut that in half just with my snips. Clean down my plate a little bit. This was a new plate not long ago, and I have well and truly well used it. So let's just lay some of these pieces out. I don't know what colours, so we might as well just cut everything. And then we can play to our heart's content in what colours and everything we're going to use. And of course, whatever these you don't use, just pop them into a little cellophane bag, you know, one of those little envelope cellophane bags. They're really good, and they just fit nicely inside your stamp box. And then you have them cut ready to go for the next time. And if you wanted to, you could keep them all segregated in different bags. But I'm not going to necessarily do that. I might just throw them all into one bag. Let's take all those dies off there for the moment. Pop all of these out. I'm just going to pop them all into one of these holes here. As I said, you do get quite a bit, cut quite a few flowers out of this, because some of these dies cut 2 flowers in the one spot. This is the time-consuming part, but I think the next piece I'm going to use is a bit of the, yes, I just tore that, is the purple posy. And I'm just going to layer these on here as well. Love this colour. I don't use it enough, I don't think. But I've got lots of ideas coming up of how I can maybe use some of these, all these different colours. Now just keep an eye out on my Facebook page, on Keep on Stamping with Michele, or even just my general Stamping Up Facebook page, because I'm involved with a couple of stamp camps in the new year. So all the details for those will be going up fairly soon in the new year, or closer towards the end of this year. The groups I'm in, we're still organising some of this stuff, and we're using products from the new mini catalogue. So, and because I'm in I've got a couple of teams running at the moment that I'm part of, and there's going to be some interesting projects coming up, I'm sure, with these groups and the stamp camps. So let's just pop these cut in to this one. They've still got some bits and pieces I need to take out of some of these, but that's okay. I can do that when we work out which ones we're going to use. Just sticking a little bit to my plate. Okay. Now we might not need that piece just yet. What other colours have we got? May not want to add as many colours as what I've pulled out. Let's do some of this one in the pale papaya. Whoops. I'm just hitting those dies there. Let's move them back a bit. So I hope you're all having a lovely day. It's a bit cool here in the Southern Highlands today. Yesterday I was sitting in my workroom here and trying to do some sewing, and my fingers were getting quite cold and going blue, and today is still a bit cool. Had to pull the jumper out yesterday and pop it on. It was so beautiful a few days before that, nice and warm. But yeah, so I still got the jumper on again today because it's still a bit cool. Okay. Careful we don't lose any of these. That's why I like to have that paint palette, because it just enables me to put, if I've got lots of little bits and pieces like this, I can pop all these into there. At least they're safe. Don't have pieces flying everywhere. Which, if you could see my desk, you would know why I tend to lose things on it. I think over this weekend I've got to have a bit of a clean up, and I'm sure I say that every Friday. Okay, there's another one done. And I think we might just do one more, and I want to bring in maybe the pool party, just to add a little bit of blue, even though it's a bluey green. Sometimes that can look quite nice. A few little flowers tucked in around the place. Whoops, almost lost that one. If you're not watching this live and you come in and watch it at a later date. If you have any questions, please just message me either through Facebook or through YouTube, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with answers, if I can answer the questions for you. So don't hesitate in asking me. All these products that I'm using today will be available as of the 5th of January. So you'll be able to purchase them then. Oops, let me just move that again. Oh, something. Okay, almost lost the die there. I went to an embroidery weekend earlier in the year and I bought the most fantastic little tool when you lose these dies on the floor. It's a magnet on the end of a long stick. Really good for picking up all those little bits and little dies and that you drop on the floor. Not that you want to be dropping dies on the floor, because I actually had one recently land in the bin, and luckily I found it. I went through the bin piece by piece. Must have bounced off the carpet because I felt it hit my foot and then bounced up and went straight into my garbage bin, my paper bin. That could have been near disaster. Okay, I know I did pull out so saffron, but I think I might be a little bit too close to the pale papaya, so I might leave it. And I think we have enough there that we can start at least playing. So let's just pop that out of the road. Hope that pile doesn't fall down. And let's start seeing what we can put together. Now, we also need to work out what sentiment we're going to pop on there. So we've got dear friend, let's celebrate, thinking of you, and we've got thanks, which are in a nice script, and then we've got you, we've got love also in the script. Then we've got these little ones, your new adventure, for you, just for, best wishes, your new baby, your anniversary, your graduation, you are amazing, or happy birthday. So we could go dear friend, happy birthday, if you wanted to mix them up a little bit. Let's celebrate you, thinking of you, what would we say? Anyone got any ideas? Oh, we've got one more down here, all the wonderful things you do. Just wish we had on your, we got your, we don't have it on, because then you could have thinking of you on your birthday. Dear friend, happy birthday. We might just do that one. Okay. Let's take these out. So, dear friend, where have we got that one? There it is. Don't need that anymore, but I don't throw these pieces of plastic away because they do come in handy. Because all these now, they've got them printed off on the sheet in the inside. So once I use them, I start sticking them down. So there's the dear friend. We want that one. And of course, don't just pull these off. Just peel them off with your fingers. Just gently. You don't want to stretch the bejeebers out of them. And we want happy birthday. Just thought I heard rain, but it's not rain. I think it's just a bit of wind outside. Okay. Just sitting here, dreaming away. So there's that piece. We need a couple of blocks. Block might be a little bit too big. We need that one and maybe that one. I like to try to line them up as best as I can on my grid paper and use that as a guide. And putting them on my block, trying to keep things as straight as I possibly can. Okay, we're going to use that one. What ink will we use? Might want something that's going to stand out a little bit. And wondering whether we might go the Pear Pizzazz or whether that might be a little bit light. I tend to always go with black. Or we could do Evening Evergreen. Even though we're not using it, it's still within the green family. Or I like Old Olive with Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to stamp this onto, got this here. This is just a leftover piece from tags I was making the other day. Let's just have a look. Yeah, I think actually I quite like that because I think that's going to show up nicely on there. So here's our tag. I'm just going to line that up with my grid paper. Now what I want to do is Dear Friend, and I want that to be predominant, but I don't necessarily want it right in the middle. So I'm going to stamp that just about there. Now, will we do Happy Birthday in the same colour, or will we do it in a different colour? I'm thinking we might just do it in a different colour. Clean my blocks while I think of it. I'm terrible for not cleaning my blocks straight away. I think what I might do is grab the Pear Pizzazz and do the Happy Birthday in that. Make sure you've got this the right way up. So let's just stamp that off, yes. And I'm going to do it fairly close, not too close. Okay. Let's have a look and see how that works. I'll just clean that stamp off. As I said before, you will be able to buy these products come the 5th of January from my online store, which is at michellejutrissa.stampinup.net. That's our piece we don't want. This one here, we're going to slip into there, and hopefully we haven't got our Dear Friend too close. I don't want to have it disappear, and I'm going to lose. We might have to redo another one of these because I'm going to lose my Happy Birthday by the looks of it. This is what happens when you use a new stamp set. And I've lost my Happy Birthday, so it does need to come across. So let's recut a new one of those. So let's move all that out of the road for a minute. And we'll grab some more basic white. Might not use that piece because that piece is a good size to do inside my card. But I've got my bag of scraps here. There's the scrap, just the right size. Okay, where is that big? No, it's not the big die we need. We need this one here. This card is going to have lots of layers. That is fine. Okay, let's have a look what we've done here. So we've got here, our dear friend wasn't in too bad a spot, but our happy birthday was in a very wrong spot. So let's see if we can do this again. Make sure our cardstock's nice and clean. Stamp this off so we know when the no upside down. So let's turn it the right way around. Just tap it on your stamp pad. Don't need to push them all the way through, because otherwise we'll have ink oozing everywhere. And I'm going to, okay, so if we're working on this piece here as our example, I might want to center this just that little bit more and just take it up the top. Just like that. The other thing we could do too is the happy birthday part. We might do that. Okay, I'm just going to, just thinking with the happy birthday, because we could actually stamp that on another piece and cut it out and layer it on top. But is it going to be too many layers? And what color would we do that layer in? I'm just wondering whether we might do it in a soft sea foam. Let's just remove the evergreen out of the road before I put my fingers in it. And let's just grab some evening evergreen. Oops, everything's falling around me. Okay. And okay, I'm going to stamp it in both Hair Pizzazz and in the evening evergreen and see which one looks better. So I didn't like the evening evergreen for the happy birthday just onto the white, but this is going onto the soft sea foams, so it's going to look a little bit different. Just having a look, see if there's any comments. That's okay. And we'll just clean off these stamps. And I'm going to grab my little guillotine here. do that one. And of course, you could just cut these with a pair of snips if you wanted to. I just want to keep this nice and clean. And I'm hoping I've got that straight. There's one. Okay. Let's see what we've got. So here's our could if we wanted to, because I've made this piece here small enough that I could put a mat behind it if I want to put a mat behind it. And at the moment, I'm sort of thinking going that one. I still got to trim it down that way, or that one. I think I might just pop both of them to one side. I like so far the one with the evening evergreen, and let's just build this up and see what we come up with. So we've got all our little flowers and everything here. And I'm going to start off with my strongest colour, which is actually the fresh freesia. Get rid of those little bits and pieces, and we can sit some of these on top. We don't have to go all the way always on top. We can pop a few underneath. So I'm using the green here of the Pear Pizzazz to be like as a grounding for this. Hi Joan, how are you? Glad you're able to join us. We're just playing. This is a new suite in the mini catalogue, and I forgot to get the designer series paper that goes with it. So I'm just playing with some of the components of it to see what we can come up with. I have not got anything really planned. I've got a rough idea, and we're just adding bits and pieces to see what we come up with. And this is a double stamp set suite, and also comes with a punch. Whoops, we don't want that little bit in there. So we're just going to add, if I add one on one side, I'm just balancing it by adding something on the other side. So I've done the fresh freesia here in an intricate type flower, then I've done a solid one there. So I'm going to try putting maybe a solid one of these over here somewhere. And we're just going to see what we have. And none of this is glued down. None of this is sort of like, yes, this is what we have to do yet. We're just going to add a few bits and pieces and see what we come up with. Some of these flowers have done 3 sizes of each. And you can just sort of layer these on top of. You can even put a few pieces like that on top of it. I don't know whether you can actually see that. Let me just lift that up a little bit so hopefully you can see what I've done so far. I'm not quite sure about that one there yet. We'll just sort of keep playing, keep adding. And we've got this one over here, which we haven't added any yet. This is the pale papaya. So we're using 3 colours here. I've cut out 4 colours. I've got Pool Party, Blushing Bride, Fresh Freesia, and Pale Papaya. And we're using the Pear Pizzazz underneath as a basis to our card and just layering it. And the beauty of these dies here is that they've actually die cut. I'll just bring this back in and show you. They've die cut through here. So you've got this little slit in here where this piece here can slip in like what I've done there. So it slips in underneath. You could even cut that off and do that on the edges of photos in your scrapbooking too, which would look quite good. I think I want to add a larger papaya one in. Add some more colour underneath. I think I'm starting to like what I've got here. So what we might do is take these off and start gluing these down. Now, one thing I do want to see is, should I put a matte underneath? Oh, I want the colour, not the matte. That's okay. Or whether I might just pop a little white matte underneath that. I think I might. So we might cut some basic white and let's start layering up. And then we've got our sentiments. I've cut 2 here. I've got Dear Friend stamped on there in Evening Evergreen, even though Evening Evergreen is not in the other colours at all. But I've got this one here on the pale, on the soft sea foam, I should say, and that's also in the Evening Evergreen. And Joan, you might be able to help me. Should we do it in that one, or this is with their Pear Pizzazz on the soft sea foam? So this is going to be probably the last thing we put on here. So I'm really quite happy to leave the decision to the end. So let me know what you think. But they're the 2 that I'm sort of working on at the moment. I'm going towards the Evening Evergreen. So let me just pop all this out of the road, grab some more basic white, and let's cut a matte. I'll pop those actually in there so I don't lose them. Pop that over there. And just to see if I've got a bigger piece of basic white in here that I can cut down. Looks like I do. And we can cut a matte from that. Oh, I really do need to clean up. Okay, so we need to cut this 10 centimeters by 14.4, which that is just a fraction off. I'm just going to drop all that onto there, and we can mat that onto there. Love this basket weave embossing folder. It is just stunning. So with using your multi-purpose glue, you can just move this around a little bit. Not quite wanting to slip for me, and I think that's because it's embossed background. So the glue's probably gone into all those little crevices. The embossing. Give that a good rub. Okay. Now, I don't think at the moment I'm going to use ribbon on this. I think it's got a lot happening. So because if I'm going to add ribbon, ribbon needs to go now, sort of thing. Okay, should we add ribbon or should we not add ribbon? If we add some ribbon, it might be the crinkle cut seam binding. But I'm just wondering if that's going to be too much, too fussy. Have that going right across underneath. We might just give it a go. Just hold on a second. I'm just going to grab some from my shelf here. Won't be a moment. Okay. Pick up those things I threw on the floor a while back. Let's see if I can grab this ribbon. Might just get a little bit more because I want to make a bow, but I want the bow to be fairly generous. So Joan, how are you? You keeping well? Okay. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to oh, excuse me, sorry. Now I'm just going to grab some seal. Whoops. Pop a bit of it there. A bit of it on the other side. And I'm going to use the weave, basket weave, to be where I'm going to line this up. So hopefully I've got it nice and straight. And I'm just going to trim that away underneath because we don't need all that down there. Whoops, I managed to get that a little bit crooked. That's better. And then that, I'm going to glue it straight down because I'm going to pop that sentiment and everything up on dimensionals so I can slip flowers in underneath. Put quite a bit of adhesive on there. And we're just going to pop that there. Now, make sure I'm happy with that. As far as I'm not, I just want to move that just a little bit up. Okay. Now I do want to take that out of there for the moment, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of seal on the back of that. You can see how that slips underneath that design there. Now I don't want to push this down because I need to position this where I want it, so I don't want that seal to grab just yet. I want to make sure I've got this in the right position. I mean, I probably could have used the multi-purpose. See over here, it just needs to come this way just a little bit more. Whoops, it's just want to center it. Just grabbing that little bit there. Pop that underneath that corner. Oops, still not quite in that position I want it in. Probably should have used the multi-purpose. Let's try this again. Okay, put that into there. Let's see if we can now tuck that in. Luckily, we're going to put flowers over this because it looks like I'm bending the tag a bit, but it is going to look good. Give that a nice press down. Okay. Now let's just make sure I've got all my little bits and pieces out. And I'm just going to add some dimensionals on the back. Just only need 4 on there. And then we can position this where we want it now. I'm going to offset this a little bit, but I want it inside there because we're going to make, so it's more this way on my card, and that's because I'm going to put a bow here. Now I've got my bow maker here, but I'm wanting maybe at the bigger bow maker. Just working out which bow I want to make. It's probably going to be, maybe let's try this one, see how we go. Probably got a lot more ribbon than I need. That's okay. Could do a double. It's got so much ribbon here. Actually, I think I even want it to be bigger than that. So I'm going to use this one. Of course, you could use a fork for this. I'm just going to wrap that around twice. Pull these ribbons out. And that, I think, is going to go around about there. So let's just cut these tails down. I'm not going to angle them just as yet. I'm just kind of cut a bit of that excess off. Because that could even come from from there. So let's pop a glue dot on that. Honeybee Stamping Hive, hello, how are you? You're from Central Florida. Okay, lovely to have you join us today. And we've also got Leanne. How are you, Leanne? Great to see a few people jumping on. Okay, so we're just going to pop that glue dot underneath there. And I'm going to pop that just about there. Okay, so now we know where all that's going to go. Let's start playing with some of these. We'll trim that down in a minute. We've still got to work out which one of these birthday sentiments we're going to finish up with. So that one is the soft sea foam, which is our card base, using the evening evergreen. And that one is soft sea foam using the pear pizzazz, which is the same as my base I've used here. So we need to work out which one of these we're going to use. These dies are great. I'm loving them. I forgot to buy the designer series paper. I don't know how I managed it. I know I was umming and ahhing about how much of it I was going to buy, and I thought I put down the collection number, but I didn't. So I've ended up without the designer series paper. So this is why we're playing with this today, and just doing something a little bit different. Not quite sure exactly how we're doing everything, but we'll work it all out. You guys can tell me when you think there's enough, because otherwise I will keep going adding. So we're going to pop that one underneath. And this one here can go. So what I'm trying to do is mirror image each other, but not necessarily in the same colors, just in similar designs, just to keep things balanced. And then we'll probably bring a few more flowers or something out underneath this bow, just to make it look a little bit lush. Now, of course, I would normally recommend when you cut these pieces out that you use adhesive sheets underneath, but just the fact that I wasn't quite sure what we're going to do, and I generally don't always like to have everything stuck down. I like to have a little bit of lift. You can, whoops. I don't like, I like to be able to have things look like it's sort of coming off the page a little bit and not sort of all glued down heavily. So, and the colours that we're using is we've got oh golly, what did I say that colour was? Oh, let me grab it. No, it's not pale papaya. Oh golly. Soft sea foam. We've got fresh freesia, pale papaya, blushing bride, and pool party. So they're the colours, and we've got pear pizzazz, of course. So stop talking and pop these down. Always good maybe to have a pair of tweezers on hand, because some of these can get a little bit small. So the pear pizzazz in the bottom is just adding, or being our greenery for us, really. So because there's actually not that many leaves or anything in this, and not in these fine little pieces. So we're just sort of going to add a few of these on top of each other. And we're really just going to play and add until we're sort of happy with what we've got. There's no hard and fast rules in any of this. It's just keep playing, keep adding. Remember too, nothing is a mistake. So if you put something you don't like on, like I'm not quite sure that I like that flower in there, you can always add on top, which is actually what I'm doing here. It's the same when you're doing embroideries. They say, you know, it's never a mistake. You just keep adding until you're happy with it. You want to try to get things as balanced as you can. I'm just going to add these as like little flower centers, especially to some of these bigger ones. You just want to keep working until you got something balanced. Actually, I might just put a different flower there. Okay, let's just have a bit of a look. Let's see what this looks like. Don't want that there. Of course, I've got to trim down these ends a little bit, so we could do a bit of an angle there. Need something just to, so I'm not going to, I think I'm going to have that going underneath the ribbon, but it's just only just long enough So I think if I can bring a couple of flowers out around here, that'll look okay. I'm going to pop that onto a couple of the mini dimensionals. And at the moment, I think I'm just going to pop the dimensionals just on this one end. I do like it with the evening evergreen, so that's the one I'm using, and that's going to go across there and just onto those flowers. And then a little bit of glue. Now, here's a tip for you. If you get a little piece of scrap paper, put some glue on the end of that. And you can pop that underneath there. Press it down to transfer the glue onto the back of that, and then down. So if you've got something that needs to be glued, like underneath here, you want to put a bit of glue underneath those flowers, you put a bit of glue in there and then rub it on the end. Now I'm going to pop some flowers coming out from underneath there. Just to cover the end of that up, and I want something a little bit more on the solid side. So let's just sit this one underneath and see how it looks. We want So how's that looking? So we want to pop something like that there, and maybe a bit more coming out here. Yeah. So pop that back there. They're coming out from underneath. Give that a bit of a push down. That ribbon's going to come back over the top. So that's just going to be peeking out underneath. And then we can put a bit of glue on the back of that one. And it's just going to go over the top of that end of that, but tucked in there behind that ribbon. And let's just see, do we need to add anything else? So what do you think? We've still got some of those. Where have I put them? We could add a couple of these to it. If we do, I'm probably going to use this colour here at the top, which is like it's almost a soft sea foam to even a basic grey, or not even lighter, smoky slate. Let's just pop a couple of these on. I don't really want to go the bigger ones. Put one down there. So there's 3. We're going to use some of the bigger ones. We'd probably pop them, might pop a little dimensional or something underneath there. It's just flipping up a little bit. Trick would be to put it underneath there so it doesn't show through. It's going to go right underneath. That's not too bad. Just wonder if we need a bit more, because I've got 3 flowers there, but I've only really got 1 here. this tiny little, oops, there was one smaller than that. Yep, might pop him there. Maybe a bit more coming out from around here, just to give it a little bit more bulk, just in there a bit. Card like this is very easy to get carried away, so it's just a matter of working out when you get to the point of saying, okay, let's stop. Love these little flowers, they're so cute. Of course, you don't have to take all these little bits out if you wanted to leave them there. Just having a look, see if I've got another one of these small little flowers. Oh, we could keep going. Another thing would be nice done in these would be doing some flowers in one of the vellums to give you a really nice little sort of very lacy sort of look. Just wondering if it needs something there. I don't know what colour. And I don't think it needs to be heavy. I think I better stop doing this before I get too carried away. I don't know. What does everybody think? Otherwise, I will just keep going. I'm just going to angle these off a little bit. So we want probably about there. Okay. So I think I have finished. I mean, of course, you could keep adding if you wanted to keep adding, but I just think sometimes less can be more. May have gone over the top a little bit, but it is the sort of look I wanted. I wanted a sort of a lush, gardeny sort of look. The only other thing I need to do now with this is to make an insert to go on the inside of it. So let's just get rid of some of these and grab some more basic white cardstock. You want this to be 10 by 14.4, and that looks like it's almost right. Now we could, if we wanted to, decorate the inside of this. Do we want to add some more flowers to this or not? Just have a look. The other thing would be just to add a couple of little Now I'm just going to grab a couple of glue dots. One to go on the inside there, just to hold that down. Another one to go on the back. It's just a little piece of folded ribbon. A little bit high. Whoops. Okay, let's try that again. See if it sticks. Just want to trim that down a little bit. Now, I probably would make sure, since I'm putting glue and things in here, and make sure that the glue is all dry before I close my card up. Otherwise, my card will glue shut if there's any excess glue. And just have a look what else we've got here. One of these smaller little flowers. Just taking one of each colour. Give that a bit of a hold. Don't want to use too much glue, but I want that to hold there and hold there. Block on there for a second or two. So I hope you've enjoyed today's live. I hope you like seeing some of the new products. As I said, if you do want to purchase any of these products, they will be available as of the 5th of January. You can get them at my shop, and I'm here in New South Wales, Australia. But it doesn't matter where you are in Australia. You just can't purchase from me if you are overseas. Kayla, how are you, darling? Lovely to see you popping up. Just having a play with some new products here. So we're just going to pop that on the inside of our card. I hope you're going well, Kayla. It's been a while since I've had a chat with you. Missed you at the live at on stage. And how's that little boy of yours? Bet he's all growing up. Okay, so that's just you could probably pop, I don't know, maybe pop one of these on there. Don't know whether it'll go. Let's just have a look. Might make it a bit too bulky. Just thinking filling that hole there a little bit. Might leave a dent in our card. But anyway, there we go. That's my play for today. I'm considering, what time are we now? 2:27, an hour and 27 minutes ago. I had really no idea what we were doing. So just needs a little bit of a push there. So that's our card. Just playing around with some of the new products. I really love these little flowers and everything. The fact that you can actually position them and move them around to wherever you want them to be. It sort of allows you a little bit more freedom. Great fillers on any other card you might be making. Even with, I seem to have a metal blank when it comes to mixing sweets. But something like this can work really well with other sweets as well. It's not just to stay within this sweet. And of course, I love this embossing folder in the weave. It looks fantastic. I love simple embossing folders just to give a bit of simple texture to the back. So I think this is going to be very fast become one of my favourite embossing folders. So I hope you've enjoyed that card. And a little bit in the middle there. Not quite sure whether I'm 100% happy with that, but anyway, just decorates the inside of that card a little bit. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Leanne and Kayla. And oh, you missed us all too. Yeah, it's not good when our health's not great. Elijah's almost 9. Wow, where's those years gone? He's growing up too quickly. Yes, I did get to do a demonstration and on stage. I think that was my highlight, and my highlight was basically my Stampin' Up career. So, which has been great. Depending on what they do with their conventions and so forth, it may be my last one. I don't know yet. If they have them like they did have, where they had them up in Brisbane and so forth, I probably won't be able to get to them. But being in Sydney, and it was great. I'm hoping to go to a lot more. I love my Stampin' Up family and everyone who watches all the videos. It's really great having you all on. So I have got, if you look on my site somewhere, Kayla, there is a 10-second little video of me. I do 2 things when I get nervous. One is I'll tend to forget names, but I generally do that anyway. And the other one is I will start cracking jokes. And I did both, and they worked out to my advantage, I think. So everyone seemed to enjoy it, so that was good. But it was wonderful to be asked and wonderful to do it. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you can join me again next week as we have a look maybe at another new product. We'll see how we go. It is getting closer to Christmas, so whether next week will be the last one or not, I don't know as yet for this year. But thank you again for joining me, and thank you for liking my site. Have a lovely day, and everyone take care. Bye for now.